Hey everybody, it's Jeff. Have you ever visited a town and thought, wow, this place is so bad, they should have put up a warning sign at the city limits? Believe me, you're not alone. Today I'm taking you through 10 towns that, in my humble opinion, should come with their own disclaimer. We're talking about crime, poverty, neglect, and, in some cases, issues so bad that it feels like a full reset might be the only solution. But seriously, buckle up. This list might just make you appreciate where you live a little more. Or, it might inspire you to start a GoFundMe to help these towns get back on their feet. Either way, let's get started. 7. Our first stop takes us deep into the heart of Louisiana, to a town that's become synonymous with reality TV and duck calls, Monroe, Louisiana. Yeah, Monroe is home to the Robertson family from Duck Dynasty, and sure, the surrounding nature has its moments. But beneath the surface, Monroe is struggling. We're talking about a poverty rate that's significantly higher than the national average, unemployment that's enough to make you weep into your sweet tea, and humidity so thick you could cut it with a knife. The point is, Monroe feels stuck. It's like a time capsule from a bygone era, where the economy is stagnant, the infrastructure is crumbling, and the only thing booming is the mosquito population. 7. Next up, we're heading to the Jersey Shore, but not for a beach vacation. No, we're going to Atlantic City, New Jersey, a town that's become a cautionary tale about the fleeting nature of fortune. You see, Atlantic City was once the place to be. It was a glamorous resort town full of glitz, gambling, and good times. But those days are long gone, my friends. The iconic boardwalk, once a symbol of Atlantic City's allure, now feels more like a ghost town than a tourist destination. Competition from casinos in other states, the rise of online gambling, and a general decline in Atlantic City's image all played a role. 8. Our next destination takes us to the Golden State, but don't let the nickname fool you. We're talking about Stockton, California, a city that's become synonymous with financial struggles and a whole lot of grit. Stockton has the dubious distinction of being the largest U.S. city to ever declare bankruptcy. In 2012, the city was drowning in debt, crippled by a collapsing housing market and sky-high unemployment. But Stockton's problems run deeper than just money. This is a city grappling with high crime rates, gang violence, and a lack of opportunity that can feel downright suffocating. Stockton is home to some incredibly resilient people who are working tirelessly to turn things around. 8. Buckle up, folks, because our next stop is not for the faint of heart. We're heading to Gary, Indiana, a city that's become a chilling symbol of industrial decline and urban decay. Once upon a time, Gary was a bustling steel town, a place where hardworking men and women could earn a decent living and build a good life for their families. But those days are long gone. As the steel industry collapsed in the latter half of the 20th century, Gary went down with it. Factories closed, jobs disappeared, and people fled the city in droves. What's left is a shell of its former self, a landscape dotted with abandoned buildings, vacant lots, and a pervasive sense of hopelessness. 8. Our next stop is a stark reminder that even in the wealthiest nation on earth, basic human needs can be tragically neglected. It's a place where the promise of the American dream has been overshadowed by a harsh reality. We're going to Flint, Michigan, a city that's become synonymous with government failure, environmental injustice, and the devastating consequences of lead poisoning. Flint's story is a cautionary tale of what happens when infrastructure is allowed to decay and oversight is ignored. In 2014, in an effort to save money, Flint switched its water source to the Flint River. This decision, made without proper consideration of the consequences, set off a chain of events that would devastate the community. The problem? The river water was highly corrosive and it wasn't treated properly. This oversight led to catastrophic results. This led to lead leaching from the city's aging pipes into the drinking water, exposing tens of thousands of residents, including children, to dangerously high levels of lead. The health implications were immediate and severe. The effects of this man-made disaster are still being felt today. Families continue to struggle with the long-term health impacts, and the community remains scarred by the crisis. While progress has been made, many residents still don't trust the water coming out of their taps. And who can blame them? The scars of the past run deep, and the road to recovery is long and arduous. Our next stop takes us to the heartland of America, to a city that's been ravaged by poverty, crime, and a history of systemic racism. This city, once a beacon of industrial might, now stands as a testament to the consequences of economic decline and social neglect. We're talking about East St. Louis, Illinois, a city that sits just across the Mississippi River from its namesake St. Louis, Missouri, but might as well be a world away. Despite their proximity, the two cities couldn't be more different in terms of economic prosperity and quality of life. East St. Louis and St. Louis are a stark example of the deep-seated inequalities that plague our nation. The contrast between the two cities is a vivid illustration of how systemic issues can create vastly different outcomes for neighboring communities. While St. Louis boasts gleaming skyscrapers, world-class museums, and a thriving economy, East St. Louis is mired in poverty, plagued by crime, and struggling to provide basic services to its residents. The disparity is not just in the physical infrastructure but also in the opportunities available to the people who live there. East St. Louis was once a thriving industrial hub, home to meatpacking plants, stockyards, and factories. These industries provided jobs and economic stability to the community, making it a bustling center of activity. But as industry declined and white flight took hold in the mid-20th century, East St. Louis was left behind. The exodus of businesses and residents led to a downward spiral that the city has struggled to recover from ever since. Today, East St. Louis is one of the poorest cities in America, with a poverty rate hovering around 40%. The city faces numerous challenges, from underfunded schools to inadequate healthcare services, making it a symbol of urban decay and resilience. Our next destination is a city that's become synonymous with crime, poverty, and urban blight. We're going to Camden, New Jersey, a city that's seen its fair share of struggles, but is also home to a resilient spirit and a glimmer of hope. Camden is a city that's been plagued by violence, poverty, and a lack of opportunity for far too long. But Camden is also a city that's fighting back. One of the bright spots in Camden is the waterfront, which has undergone a bit of a renaissance in recent years. The Adventure Aquarium and the USS New Jersey Battleship Museum are popular tourist attractions, and there are plans to develop the waterfront even further. Our next stop takes us to the land of enchantment. But don't let the nickname fool you. We're going to Gallup, New Mexico, a city that's often overlooked, misunderstood, and struggling to find its footing in a rapidly changing world. Gallup is a city of contrasts. Located on the edge of the Navajo Nation, it's a place where Native American culture and traditions collide with the realities of modern American life. One of the biggest challenges facing Gallup is its economy. The city has long been a trading center for Native American arts and crafts, but tourism alone hasn't been enough to sustain the local economy. Unemployment is high, poverty is rampant, and many residents struggle to make ends meet. Our next stop takes us to the heart of the Arkansas Delta, to a city that's been battered by economic decline, environmental degradation, and a sense of hopelessness that can be hard to shake. The streets are often empty, and the once bustling markets now stand silent. We're going to Pine Bluff, Arkansas, a city that's seen better days, where the echoes of its prosperous past still linger in the air, but is still holding on, with a community that refuses to give up, hoping for a brighter future. The spirit of resilience is palpable here. Pine Bluff was once a bustling agricultural center, a place where cotton was king, and the fields stretched as far as the eye could see, and the railroads hummed with activity, connecting the town to the rest of the country. But as the agricultural industry changed and jobs moved overseas, Pine Bluff fell on hard times. The once thriving factories now stand empty, a stark reminder of what was lost. Today, Pine Bluff is a city struggling to find its footing in a rapidly changing world. The clash between old industries and new technologies is evident everywhere. The downtown area is dotted with vacant storefronts, each one telling a story of dreams deferred. The unemployment rate is stubbornly high, with many residents struggling to make ends meet, and the poverty rate is heartbreaking. Yet, amidst the challenges there is a glimmer of hope, a belief that better days are still possible. Our final stop takes us to the Mojave Desert, to a city that's both a beacon of hope and a symbol of the challenges facing small-town America. We're going to Barstow, California, a city that's often overlooked, but holds a unique place in the American story. Barstow is a city of contradictions. It's a city that's both bustling and desolate, a place where travelers from all walks of life pass through on their way to somewhere else. Once upon a time, Barstow was a major stop on Route 66, the iconic highway that carried countless Americans westward in search of a better life. But as the interstate highway system was built and travel patterns changed, Barstow found itself bypassed and somewhat forgotten. 7. And there you have it, the 10 towns in America that, in my humble opinion, should probably come with a warning sign. Look, it's not that these towns are all bad. They're filled with good people who are just trying to make their way in the world. But they're also facing some serious challenges that are often overlooked, misunderstood, or simply ignored. Did we miss any towns that you think deserve a spot on this list? Let me know in the comments below. Until next time, stay curious, stay informed,